So right now we're going to get into our prompt, which is, after being homeschooled for 4 hours, do you think that you should receive homework? So think about the homework that you're doing currently in this quarantine time and how it's online learning and everything like that. Think about, do you think that you should be receiving extra work that should be counted as homework? What factors should prevent you or allow you to do your homework at home? So what factors would prevent you from doing your homework at home? So what are some of the different things? Like maybe you have to look after your siblings. Maybe you don't have internet access. So what are these different factors that would really prevent you from being able to do your homework? And that's really going to be our fifth component. So I really want you to look into that. Right now we're going to roll into our first article, and it's looking at the 7 compelling benefits of online learning. So these are really going to bolster and help promote online learning, which is what you've really been doing over this past week. So, prior to the mid-90s, students didn't have a lot of options for schooling. There were a few distance learning programs, and some parents could teach their children at home. Most students had to attend brick-and-mortar schools to get their education. That all changed with the advent of personal computers and the internet and Wi-Fi now. Students have a choice with a variety of online learning options. Although online learning is now well established for all levels of education, many are not familiar with online schools and the advantage that it offers to students. So, take a look at some of the ways that students can learn. So, our first point is going to be that students can learn at their own pace. So, think about what you have been doing at home. You've been studying at your own pace. You may have been given this time window to do it, but you can do it whenever. You don't have to wake up at a certain time. You can come in then. So let's begin to read. Parents of infants and toddlers are advised to let their children develop at their own speed. Experts say that kids should not begin to sit, crawl, walk, or talk at their own pace, at a pace that is comfortable for them, because every child is different. The same principle applies to older children, yet students in traditional schools are often expected to learn lessons and complete different classwork at the same rate as their peers, regardless of whether they could go through the materials quicker or safer at more time. So, basically what this is saying is that children are expected to go through each lesson at the same time. So I want you to think, if you've ever been in a situation where you've noticed that maybe not yourself has been struggling during a lesson to keep up with everyone, or maybe you know that you're not doing so well, but because the way that the lessons are structured, that you have to continue to move forward no matter what. It really, maybe you haven't seen it, but you've seen it in a friend who has, been struggling there. So this would allow you guys to kind of go at your own pace and complete lessons that it's really more up to your standards. Since virtual schools include a mixture of self-paced work with scheduled lessons, activities, and deadlines, online students can enjoy more individualized education that fits their unique needs while complying with mandates of the individual school state. So you guys would still have to hit certain key points, but you guys could access it at your own pace. So that is point number 1, learning at your own pace. Introverted students can join in discussions. So first off, let's identify what introverted means. So introverted is more so of a person who is more quiet, more laid back, more doesn't really want to speak in front of large crowds. They really struggle to deal with a little bit of social interaction. So a traditional school environment can be tough for introverts. These schools are designed for more extroverts and needs for a lot of stimulation, but some kids are natural introverts. Introverts feel that they're most alive when they are switched on and more capable of their inner choir, more low-key environments. So what this is talking about really is that sometimes in a classroom it can get too loud for some people, and that they aren't really able to focus as well as they should be. So while introverts can still do well in traditional schools, they often find the quieter settings of virtual schools more conductive learning, and since much of the classroom and teacher interaction takes place online, quieter students are on an equal footing to extroverted classmates. So it allows students of all types to really engage and join in different school discussions. So students have individualized schedules. So I want you to think back to the schedule that you had when you were in school and you were going every day, class by class by class. It would really be, this day by day schedule. You would see me and Miss Palmer every day, but sometimes you would have art and music on a different day, or maybe you would have Mr. Corbley on a different day. These things are kind of individualized by class, but for this one, it would be more towards students. So while you guys still have it individualized by class, whereas like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you see me and Miss Palmer, and then Thursday and Friday you don't, online learning really brings forth individualized, would be more specific towards each student. So many parents have chosen online learning because of the freedom it affords them in their schedules. While public online schools still follow a traditional school year, students are expected to complete assignments by due dates. Students can adjust their daily routine to suit their individual needs. So what this portion means right here, students can complete assignments by due dates, and students can adjust their daily routines to suit their individual needs. So in terms of online homework, if you guys were given it all online and at home after your 4 hours of school, you could take a break. So you could go and do it for 2 hours, then you can come back, take a break, go get lunch, go out with your family, and then come back and really sit down and do your work there. So the rest of it goes on to kind of talk about how certain students do different away sports games, and if they were online, they would be able to travel and they wouldn't be missing days. Because think about if you're sick in your home and you really miss that class, you're really trying to catch up the next day at school. But if you're doing online learning and you're doing homework at home, then you're able to do it all at once. So students have more learning options. In the past, school choice has been something that only the wealthy could afford. Online learning that helps schools make school choice more available and family friendly. It's also tuition free, so it's public schools, and they don't have to pay for it. If safety for the equality of education was a local brick and mortar school causes concerns, families can make the choice to switch to virtual school. And having new school districts in 2015, people were assessing the advantages and disadvantages, and one reported that people in lower income neighborhood often had less experienced teachers, or teachers who were less qualified. So now with the online learning portion of it, it's basically saying that you're able to switch that up as they have to have a little bit more direct. So students have fewer distractions and obstacles. A class size can continue to increase traditional schools' distractions for students. So think about the really loud people within your classroom. While there may be different things at home that really distract you, are there really your friends that you're turning to talk to? And are there really these other ones? Maybe people even bully you. Maybe you just don't get along with certain classmates. They can really affect the different types of learning. So teachers must have to take time to address behavioral issues, and students may be influenced by peer pressure than academics. So think about that time where I've literally had to stop my lesson and had to bring you guys back. Now, when you guys are doing this online at home, you are able to watch the videos at your own pace. You can pause, you can go back, you can do different things. There are many different things to online learning and online homework that you could do yourself. Students can enjoy comfortable learning environments. So students' comfort has only been the surface area of concern for education. For years, it's been acceptable to practice for students to sit in rigid chairs, but now you're able to sit in the comfort of your own home. The most basic comfort-related amenity is soft seating, and there's no longer any justification for the hard chairs for which students have to sit for several hours each day. They also note that the classic bell and alarms is jarring. That's why we have our classic ringtone. So, and then the last one is that parents are more involved. So if you're sitting at home, studies show that students are better in school when their parents are involved. Maybe now that you've been at home, you've been able to really talk to your parents a little bit more. So you've definitely been able to connect with them a little bit more. They've been able to help you. I know that I've sent out emails, and I've heard more now about how parents are able to sitting down and doing homework with different students. So that actually, honestly, is something that I'm happy to see that more parents are getting involved. So I hope that my breakdown of this article has given you some points that have brought you back to this, which is after being homeschooled, Do you think that it's better and that you should receive more homework? Or do you think that it's on the negatives? Also, I want you to really think about those factors that would prevent you from doing homework at home.